In the late 2010s, the hipster subculture completely dominated the internet, but now it's pretty much vanished. You may be thinking, it just went out of style like a lot of internet groups, but that couldn't be further from the truth. What a lot of people don't know is that hipsters actually created their own downfall. And to understand why they did this, we first need to look into the ins and outs of the hipster subculture. When you think of a hipster, I'm sure something like this comes to mind: a flannel-wearing, coffee-drinking 20-something man with a ironic mustache. But in reality, that's just scratching the surface. You see, there are actually many different genres of hipster who focus on being pretentious about a certain thing. Typically, it's music, craft beer, coffee, or astrology in some rare cases. But what really unites them isn't the way they dress, it's more so their sense of originality and uniqueness.
Voodoo Donuts? Too mainstream.
Way too mainstream.
Bro, where'd you get that hat?
Thrift store.
Really?
Well, like the vintage thrift store?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $72.
This is my favorite local bookstore. I go here now because Pals, too popular.
Like, yeah, anyone can wear a flannel, but what makes them a hipster is if they go on and on about this band they discovered, but then they got too mainstream, so they stopped listening. Or how their favorite coffee shop got too popular, so they stopped going. You get the idea. In hipster culture, enemy number one is the mainstream. As a hipster, you're constantly trying to separate yourself from anything remotely basic, and you can see that reflected in their fashion sense and their ideals. I mean, you always see them wearing these goofy little outfits with the flannels and all that kind of stuff. And actually, vegan and gluten-free diets have gained a lot of popularity in part because of hipsters.
So some of you just don't believe that my dog's a vegetarian, so I have this set up right now. Vegetarian, okay? Now, no.
It was kind of something they saw as, you know, being unique while also doing a greater good. It's just kind of like perfect for them. In short, a hipster is a type of person who constantly seeks to be original and unique, while also commonly dressing like this. But here's the problem. When you have a culture based entirely on being unique, what happens when it gets popular and everybody wants to be unique? You're right, it completely falls flat on its face and implodes in a fiery blaze. It didn't help that at the time, hipsters were kind of disliked by everyone. I mean, if you're a pretentious asshole, no one's gonna want to hang out with you.
It's like I don't even know Arcade Fire anymore. You've probably never heard of it.
That's really what led to the disappearance of hipsters. As their culture got more and more well known, they ended up being the thing they sought to destroy: the mainstream. All of this combined led to a pretty quick and quiet demise for the hipster, but mostly, it was just because the hipsters always wanted to be different and stand out, but their culture became too big and it caused it to fall apart. Nobody really mourned the passing, but something was off and we all noticed. The world just isn't the same without some dickhead trying to tell you how your favorite band is overplayed and too mainstream. Scholars debate the true end of the hipster era, but I would say 2016 was probably the last year you'd encounter anyone who considers themselves a hipster. And looking back retrospectively, there's more of a negative outlook on the idea of a hipster. I don't think many people really miss them all too much. However, I don't think they're as bad as many people would suggest. Most of the times, hipsters were just normal people living their lives, and it's a situation where the loud minority trumps the entire image of a group. Oftentimes, people try to look at things black and white, but most of the things were just there and not necessarily good or bad. But you may be wondering, hipsters disappeared, but where did they go? Well, you see, hipsters are still around, but not in the way that you'd expect. Interestingly, by definition, a hipster is a person who follows the latest trends and fashions in clothing and lifestyle, especially those regarded as being outside the cultural norm. A lot of people fail to mention that a hipster isn't just this. In reality, the hipsters that we most commonly associate the name with are just a modern incarnation of a greater counterculture that favors going against the mainstream and being unique. In actuality, they never really disappeared, they just changed with the times, and whether that's because they grew out of the stereotypical hipster style or just evolved beyond it, they're still here. Even now, there's certain types of people that you can consider to be hipster. One that I think directly descended from the stereotypical hipster culture is the quote-unquote film bros. If you don't know, they're like the guys at the parties who try to explain the complexity of Pulp Fiction while wearing a Godfather t-shirt. There are many more examples of these types of people. I don't know their names, but you know, all these guys look like they have unique music opinions. But interestingly, however, any incarnation of the hipster movement will always be short-lived. It's really a self-destructive subculture. Like how we talked about before, if their identity is focused on being different and standing out, when too many people adopt this identity, it is doomed to implode. And in the end, the cycle will probably repeat until the sun explodes or people just get bored. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching this video. If you like what I do here, you're more than welcome to subscribe. I upload usually once a week every week, so there's more content to come. But other than that, I want you guys to have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
I saw that flyer at the co-op. Are you going to the almond milking demo?